Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. So it is technically Tuesday, February 25th, but I'm actually going to be uploading this at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, February 26th. The reason why I always like to upload it at 5 p.m. is because that's usually right around the time when everybody is heading home from work for the day. That's what I was trying to say. So anyway, needless to say, it is time for another random vlog. But sad to say, it is my final winter random vlog. But that doesn't mean that I'm not doing any more random vlogs ever again. It just means that I'm not doing any more winter ones. So for this week's final winter random vlog, I wanted to talk to you guys once again about DoorDash, because talking about DoorDash is actually very interesting and is so much fun. That was slight sarcasm, but also I was being serious too. This week, the lucky winner is we're going to be talking about how much I hate when DoorDash customers take advantage of DoorDashers or just Dashers in general and try to get free food out of them. In short, I'm going to be naming this title Why I Can't Stand DoorDash Customers That Try to Get Free Food. There you go. So that's the short version. So I'm going to be going over a few stories, and some of them might sound familiar to you, and some of them are going to be brand new. So going back into my past a few weeks ago, back when Katie, my fiance, soon-to-be wife here in about 5-6 months, and I were, when she was working at the Florence Mall is what I was trying to say, I was needing some money, and I had some time before I had to be at work, and since I had to drive out there anyway for some reason, I don't remember. I might have already been out there for the day, but the point is, I had picked up a DoorDash order, and it was at a place called Wingstop, and I had to drive this order out to Independence. So I accepted this order, and I went over there, and they look at me and they go, "We don't have anything." No, I could have on the sign of the order, "Worry free, no problems," and moved on to the next one, and they wouldn't have cared. But me being the very persistent guy I was willing to go ahead and do it anyway. I had some time. I was like, well, why not? And I offered to go ahead and just have them make the order anyway. Of course, I asked them if they would be willing to do it, and they said, yeah, that's fine. So I went ahead and I showed them what the order was. They went ahead and started it. I contacted my customer. I stayed in frequent contact with her, and they said it was going to be about 15-20 minutes. I let my customer know. From what I remember, the customer didn't really say anything, so from my understanding that she was okay with that. So I went ahead and let Katie know, hey, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to get you what you need, and then I'm going to head back over to the Wingstop next door, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up this food, and then I'm going to head over there. So, I went ahead and did that. So if I remember correctly, I was over there for some reason. I think I had forgotten something that day, like maybe my name tag or something. I don't remember. And I decided to do a quick DoorDash order at Florence before I went back out to Dry Ridge. So, I pick up this order, and I and they weren't even completely ready. That's what drove me crazy. And then they had to ask me again, even though I literally just showed them the entire order, not even 15 minutes ago, and they go, "What was her drink against?" And of course, I don't remember because they were supposed to write that down. I literally just saw them write it all down. So I texted her, and she told me. So then I told them. Then they go, "Oh, okay." So then they literally make it right in front of me. So I sent her first the picture of the order, then I sent her a picture again with the order and the drink. And then I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. So I drive over there. And, because I'm very careful now, because I had this one guy that decided to lie to DoorDash that he never received his order when I clearly gave it to the right place. And then DoorDash Support turned around and said that I went to the wrong place, and I said, well, you need to send me the correct address. Oh, well, we already gave it to you. Well, guess what? That's where I took it. Well, you need to go back and, double check your work. It's like, anyway, I already went over that back in the past. So, I drive it over there. I sent the DoorDash app the picture. Then I sent her the picture. And I got home, and I'm eating my breakfast. And, yeah, that's right. I did have to work that day now, I remember. And I'm literally looking at my DoorDash app, and I noticed that my rating dropped. And I was like, and I'm on the phone with TJ, and I'm like, what the heck, man? So I got, a 1 star from her, and then she gave me a dislike on order handling. And I was like, so I messaged DoorDash Support because I have terrible phone service in this apartment. And I'm like, so, here's the story. And then I even showed them the entire conversation that she and I had. And then, because I'm a Platinum Dasher, they were like, well, we're going to take your side on the situation. We're going to remove that 1 star, and we're going to remove that dislike. It might take a few days for it to go through. Well, part of it did go through immediately, but the other part of it, yes, like they said, it took a few days. And I was like, oh, that's good at least. So, that was taken care of. More recently, this one really infuriated me. And, there might have been some truth to what she said, but it's hard to say. Because, I personally didn't put the directions into the GPS. Katie did. So, sometimes Katie does go out and do DoorDash with me. Sometimes. Most of the time, I just go out and do it myself. Well, this was on Friday night actually, and my customer was out in Williamstown, which is not too far from where I'm at right now, and she wanted La Rosa's Pizza, which is a Greater Cincinnati chain, and I was like, okay, so it's like literally right there, so we went over there. We picked up the pizza, we drove it over to her apartment, and according to the GPS, we were at the correct place. According to the DoorDash app, we were at the correct place. And we're like, okay, so I even had Katie double check, and she said we were. I was like, okay. So I sent both the app and her a picture to show that I had dropped it off. And according to the DoorDash app, we were at the correct place. I was like, okay, well, move on to the next thing. Not even a minute later, the customer comes home, sees the order, picks it up, takes it inside. Didn't say a word. And I was like, okay, so at least we know that the food is at the right place, and the customer even picked it up. So then we started heading back towards Dry Ridge because I had another DoorDash order. And then about 5 to 10 minutes later, the customer messages me and said, that's the wrong apartment, with an exclamation mark. So I as soon as we got to my next restaurant, Katie and I switched. So she drove, and I messaged the customer. And she was like, oh, I'm going to message DoorDash Support and tell them the situation. I'm like, no, I'm going to take care of this. So I showed them the exact conversation, word for word. And as soon as I got to the second screenshot, she immediately went, end chat, and that was it. And I haven't heard from her ever since. And then about 2 o'clock in the morning last night, I got a contract violation from DoorDash saying that I never delivered the order. But when I went to check, it wasn't even there. Which means that when I went to message DoorDash Support back on Friday about the situation, they probably were waiting for the AI to assign me the contract violation, and then they immediately removed it. So they removed it so fast that the AI literally put it on my account and then they took it off. The question that boggled my mind last night was, why did she wait so long to contact DoorDash Support to complain that she never received her food? You would have thought she would have contacted them days ago, but she didn't. She waited like, what, 3 days? No, hold on. Sorry. Friday, Monday, so 2 days. 2 to 3 days. We'll go on that time frame. Just to complain she never received her food. Makes you wonder. And I'm just like, something doesn't seem right here, but that's me. So, yeah, I personally think that she was just trying to get a free meal, but that's just me. But that was also what happened a long time ago, and I'm just going to quickly go over the story. This is what caused me to force myself to start taking pictures of the order, not just send to DoorDash the app, but to the customer. It was the time when I delivered an order to a customer in Florence over by my church, and the customer lied to DoorDash Support saying that they never got the order. And ever since, I have not just done all the messaging and whatnot with the DoorDash app, but I've also gone out of my way to message the customer, here's the story, here's what's going on. And the one thing I cannot stand about the let us know what's happening feature on the DoorDash app, speaking of communication, I will literally go on there and I will be honest with them every single time. Like, what was it? Friday night as well. I went into Wendy's and I told them, oh, I have a DoorDash order for so and so. And they kind of looked at me and they were like, and then they looked it up on the system and sure enough, there it was. And then it just went through and they were like, oh, it's going to be about 10 minutes. I mean, in their self-defense, they're always very nice to me. So that's why I gave them a 5-star. Because, for one thing, they always give me a free drink, which they don't have to do it, but they do it anyway. And for another thing, they don't look down on DoorDash customers. If anything, they're always friendly, polite, and respectful. And to me, that speaks volumes. Unlike the not DoorDash. Unlike the McDonald's and Dry Ridge, which is kind of like, I mean, I feel like I would still give them a 3-star because it really just depends on the day. Because sometimes they're kind of like, go away, get out of here. And sometimes they're like so nice and they're easy to talk to. The other McDonald's I like better, 5-star all the way, which is in Crittenden. They're always so nice and respectful. I mean, for the most part, I would much rather pick up DoorDash orders at those two locations, Crittenden McDonald's and Crittenden Wendy's, than go out into Florence, where they barely even acknowledge you. Where, like, I even went into a place called Jet's Pizza, and they just kind of looked at me like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "Okay, what if I was an actual paying customer? Are you still gonna treat me like that?" Probably. I feel like there was another time, but I might need to use my Dasher app to remember what time the time was. I still got some time. It's only 2:04 now. Now, obviously, I'm gonna be off the day that this uploads, but because I'm gonna be off when this does upload, I'm gonna be spending time with my brother, which is why I'm uploading this a day early. I'm gonna start looking back over some of my DoorDash orders here to see which one it was. I don't feel like it was anything from this past week because I already went over everything from this past week. That was kind of like, seriously, kind of thing. Where the customer really like drove me up a wall and kind of made me go, "Oh my word," that kind of deal. Um, Let me try pausing this for now while I try to figure it out. Alright, so I finally remembered what the um, other story I really wanted to tell you guys. This is my personal favorite out of the three, or four, whatever it was I'm on now. It did take me some hunting, but I did finally figure it out. So sometimes when I'm out dashing in Florence, because Florence is divided into two zones. You got Northern Kentucky, Covington, and then you've also got Covington East. Sometimes there's not enough dashers out in Covington East. So, like, what do I mean by that? You've got essentially Newport, Alexandria, trying to think here what else is out that way. But I mean, I don't remember everything offhand, but more or less, that is what is out there. And sometimes, yes, it gets a little busy out there. And sometimes there's just not enough dashers to fulfill that area. So sometimes DoorDash will pull me from that zone out there. And that was one of those times where it asked me to make a DoorDash delivery to Bob Evans. So I didn't realize at first which Bob Evans it wanted me to go to. So it took a little bit to get to Bob Evans, and I finally got there. And I picked up this order, no problem. And then ironically, getting to the house was super easy. And this is where it gets hilarious. So, this customer actually had an amazing view. This customer was literally within 5 minutes of the levee, the Newport Aquarium. So, what I mean by the levee, I mean Newport on the levee. And you could see one of the bridges, or a few of the bridges, that took you into downtown Cincinnati from her house. But she kept insisting over and over and over again that she was on the levee side. So she kept sending me around in circle after circle after circle to a place that I wasn't even sure where I was going. And I even was like, I'm at the right place, because not only did my GPS say I was at the right place, but my DoorDash app said I was at the right place. And I was even telling her that, no, 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 that's not the right place. I told her that like 3 different times. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to just go by your directions, is basically what I was getting at with her. And then she goes, okay, well, I'm gonna come to the door and I'm just gonna watch for you. And, I'm one of the 10 times I'm literally circling by her house, she finally sees me. So I pulled up. I let the car running this time because I'm like, I'm over at this point. And then she goes, I saw you drive by and I couldn't figure out where you were going. Then why didn't you say something on the phone? Not to mention, I even told her I actually did come here earlier, and then I even mentioned that to her, and then she goes, "Yeah, I saw you drive away, and I couldn't figure out where you're going." Oh, you could have said something earlier, especially while you're on the phone with me, instead of wasting the past 30 minutes sending me on a wild goose chase. Did you ever think about that? So that whole entire time, I kept thinking to myself, I wonder if that customer was trying to get a free meal out of me so she could report to DoorDash Support. This Dasher was wasting my time trying to make my food cold so I wouldn't get it. I want my money back and I want him to get in trouble. I mean, I really did think that a lot. And I was like, hmm. So, needless to say, after I gave her food and we stood and talked for like a minute or two and I drove off, I immediately called DoorDash Support and I told them the entire situation. I told them how rude she was to me, and they immediately put it in my notes that I was in the right and she was in the wrong. And guess what? Even if she had tried to give me a 1 star, even if she had tried to lied that she never got her food or anything to that nature, DoorDash Support actually took my side again. Like, for a change, what I'm learning is if I call DoorDash Support first and I tell them the honest truth and I tell them, like, really what happened, because let's face it, I'm a very honest guy and I'm very genuine, and I tell them not just my side of the story, but their side of the story too. I've noticed that DoorDash Support is more likely to take the Dasher's side. But if you're the kind of Dasher that's like, I'm just gonna roll with it and see what happens, more than likely you're gonna get a customer that's gonna screw you over intentionally. So if your gut instinct is telling you that the customer is going to intentionally screw you over, then call DoorDash Support as soon as you're away from everyone and everything, because don't give that customer a chance to call because they will ruin you. I am learning that the hard way. It's pretty bad. So, yeah, that is my final winter vlog for, random winter time vlog for the year. Obviously, we'll have to come up with more random vlogs when winter of 2026 comes along next year. And next year, you'll get the privilege of seeing my brand new apartment in Crittenden, Kentucky, if Lord willing, that's where I end up moving to. But yeah, just be watching out for my YouTube shorts this weekend. Don't really need to re-vlog the Homewood Suites yet, as it's too early. I was thinking about vlogging it again later this year, especially since later this year, Laura, Willie, and Katie and I will be able to use the pool and the hot tub for the first time. So I figured, why not get that on YouTube, just to be different, and that way you guys could see the Homewood Suites again on YouTube again for the first time in like a year. And if I remember correctly, I'm looking back at my Hilton app. I'm trying to remember what I booked. Now, this weekend we're staying in the same exact room we're staying in, that we stayed in not even a few months ago. So there's no reason to show that again. So that's also why I'm not going to show it. And that was the wrong button. That's right. So ironically, the only room that's available right now is the same room that we're going to be staying in later this year, which is another reason why I do want to YouTube the same exact hotel we're staying. We've already stayed in November, that we're going to be staying in again this weekend, is because I decided, well, with Katie and I getting married in August, why not get a different room this time? So last time I got a double queen, one bedroom suite. So, in other words, you had a room with two double queens, a giant HD flat screen TV, a huge bathroom, and then in a separate room you had a full kitchen, and then in a separate room you had a living room with a huge pull-up couch and another huge flat screen TV in there as well. So what's going to be different this time? Well, other than the fact that there's going to be a king bed in the room with the in the bedroom instead of two double queens, that's really all I can think about. But the real question is, how big is the room still going to be? Is it going to be the same size? Like, what's going to be different? So I figured, why not still show you guys, you know, what the room looks like, and for to celebrate our 1 year anniversary of returning back to the hotel, even though technically we're staying there this weekend to show her mother. Why not celebrate, or um, why not show them? Just why not celebrate? New Year's Eve at the hotel, show it on YouTube, and then on top of that, um, it will be kind of like our 1 year anniversary, so to speak, of staying at the same hotel again. I mean, it won't be officially a year, but it will be a little over a year since we stayed there last time. So, anyway, the two things I am going to be showing on YouTube this weekend, as far as YouTube Shorts are concerned, number one is I'm going to show the breakfast, and secondly, I'm going to show the hot tub and the pool. Because especially if Katie gets in the pool and the hot tub, I definitely want to show that. And then, like I mentioned, I will show the hotel again in December at the very end of the year. And this time, I'm going to be titling that vlog Staying in the King one bedroom suite at Homewood Suites in Florence, Kentucky! Exclamation mark. Don't forget about that exclamation mark. If I don't add an exclamation mark, that means I'm probably not excited about it. Which is how I felt about the Hampton Inn and Suites in Florence, but yet it got a lot of views anyway, which I was like. So I'm gonna upload this tonight to be uploaded at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go pack my lunch and head to the car. It is 55 degrees out, and I'm looking forward to wearing t-shirt and shorts tomorrow, Lord willing, when I take my brother out here to go eat at Beans and come see this apartment for his first time. In the meantime, always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.